This video is also a basic video, a basics sector, and it's a little mixed video. It's a little about transformation, about stuck emotional condition, and about astral energy and life. The first thing I want to talk about is life is not rational, or it's not a logical thing. If life was rational, I'm not sure if you can say it that way, you can say it in Danish that way, but if it was a logical process, then when somebody told you your body, it's not good for your body to smoke cigarettes and drink alcohol, then you would stop doing it. You would stop smoking at once if life was a logical process, because then you would say, well, I don't want to hurt my body, so I won't smoke anymore. All the habits we have are often things, not all habits of course, but some of those habits that hurt our body in some way. It's something we are in some way addicted to. And yes, alcohol and cigarettes have some ingredients that makes them, for some people, addictional, something you become addiction to. But being an addict is not only the cause of the cigarettes or the alcohol. You know, some people can drink alcohol without getting addicted to alcohol. So you can ask yourself, what is responsible inside of you for you getting addicted to something? If life was rational, a rational process, then you would just read in a book what was best for you and then do it. But that's not possible. I guess you will know that. And there are many causes that makes a person addicted. But that's only a little part of a person's total energy aspect, because Neptune, especially the energy from Neptune, has to do with, if you have a lot of Neptune energy in you, it has to do with the level of addiction you can end up having. But it's not only these things about drinking alcohol or smoking that causes our problem in life. We have all kind of challenges in life. Some women keep going back to a boyfriend that beat them or hurt them. Some men keep going back to partners, female partners, that don't treat them right. And if life was rational, you could say, a friend could say to these persons, don't go back to that boyfriend or girlfriend. You get hurt, then don't do it. But that's not the way life works, because we have this energy body in us that I've talked about, and we have our life plan, and the life plan creates stuck emotional condition in us, and these are points in us, energy areas in us with stuck energy that keeps getting us into a situation. If you have a stuck energy in you, or let's say just an energy about that makes you easily being addicted to alcohol, then this area in you will keep drawing you against situations with alcohol. And then it is the same with what I said about somebody being attracted to somebody hurting them, and I said in the earlier video I was attracted to people that suppressed me. So this is an energetic condition in us that draw us against certain challenges. And this is our astral body, and that is not rational. Our head is rational and logical. Our emotions are not logical at all. They exist under different rules than the logical structure in the mind. So even though we know we are drawn against things that are not good for us, then we can change it with our mind. Then life would be totally different than it is, and that's not the purpose with life. So if you have a challenge in life, whatever, being addicted, being drawn to people that hurt you, or something else, and you want to make lasting changes, then you have to do the technique I explained earlier. Every time you get in the situation where you are drawn against one of these things, sit down, feel in your body where are the energy that are activated that want you to do one of these things. Feel where in the body the activity from the energy are. There will be some kind of energy activity in your body, but most people, all of us, have a tendency to want to think or use our logic to find a solution to get out of our challenges. Because when we enter this energy area, it contains pain and suffering, and we don't like that. So our mind will try to figure out a plan to get around this challenge without entering this part of you. And when we allow our brain to do that, we won't make any lasting changes, because this part of us that are some stuck emotional condition will not be changed if we keep thinking of solution to avoid this point. So to create lasting changes, then you have to go into this point, find where this point are in your body, feel the activity, let the activity work as long as you can as long as you can. Keep, sometimes the activity will be like this and then fade out. Sometimes you can bear or cope with reaching this point, and then you have to do something else. Go for a walk, go on the internet, do something else. Distract yourself for this process because it became too painful. But how much, this much of the process transformed a certain amount of energy, and this transformation is lasting. You can't untransformate it again, then you have to, that's to do with born and being reborn again. So this is a stuck emotional condition in you, and when you feel, look for the place in your body where this activity, energy activity makes a noise, Sit still, feel the pain, let the energy be transformed, and you will transform as much as you can at that moment. Every time you do this process, you take a little step against making lasting changes. And that will be the way that you can stop smoking, stop drinking, stop being hurt, stop being suppressed. But sometimes, as I said in the other video, it can take 20 years. As you can understand of what I'm saying, I am focusing on the astral energy all the time. It is what causes our life, our challenges, everything that is here. But our society wants us to think all the time, be logical all the time. So, I want to tell a story about the horses, but before that I want to talk about how these sections, how this astral body and mental body work if they are in their best condition. If we reach a point in life where all our stuck emotional condition has been transformed, then we reach a new point in life. And it's not like one part you have a lot of emotional stuck energy and then suddenly everything is gone. Life is a long process, so every time you transform some emotional energy that are stuck in you, then you kind of create a new life or new condition. So you are having you're being reborn many times through life. But if you didn't have any stuck emotional condition in you, if we didn't have, we had the opportunity to use our thoughts, what I call clean, and our emotion clean. A clean emotion is an energy that flows in you, and that energy I will talk about in other videos because it's a universal energy. It comes from high above, from the 12 rays that are some basic energies in the universe. And it's like when you paint, you have some basic colors, I think 4 or 6 basic colors, and they create all the colors in the world. It's the same, we have 12 basic emotions that create all the emotions we experience in life. But the 12 rays are so strong, we don't have them as they are in there, or where they originate from. That is too strong. We have some lighter versions in our body, and these energies that are in us, that are our clean emotions, that is what we need to survive. An energy that comes from the first ray, it comes from the planet Mars, it comes from Pluto and Aries, the sign of Aries. The first ray from here goes down to these places, and then you are down here and you get the energy from here. But it's a very complicated system. But you have emotional energy in you that originates from high above. And when they work in their clean state, you can say that the emotion we call being angry. In the unclean state, the low version, we are angry and maybe not behaving very well. But when the energy is transformed to the clean state, the high version of the energy, we would use the word integrity about a person that had, if you met a person with that energy in you, clean, emotional Mars energy. This person would be a person that stood in its own power, had the Mars energy inside, and wouldn't have the need to express anything, any anger at all. They just carried that kind of energy. And that is an energy, if we met that person, we would call it integrity. And we wouldn't call it anger, but it's the same energy transformed from a lower version to a high clean version. And the thoughts are a little bit different, because the astral energy that are our emotions comes from the 12 rays from high above. The mental energy is more like a computer that thinks logically about whatever is in your life. And there we have a brain inside our head that are this computer. So there are energy in the mental body, and there are this kind of computer that are our brain, and we have this soul thread above. So the intelligence, the total amount of intelligence a person carries is not limited to the brain. The brain is one thing, the mental energy is another thing, and the intelligence that are from the higher part of the person is a third thing. So when I talk about clean thoughts, I talk about the process in the brain, where it's what a normal person consider I'm just thinking about. The challenges I have, the choices I have to make, and so on. Maybe I'm concerned about something, so I'm thinking about how to find a way to get rid of the concerning, or the mind is thinking about a lot of things. What's going to happen in the future, what happened in the past, and so on. You have a lot of activity in the brain. And a big part of these thoughts are strategies to avoid feeling an emotion. That is, I was hurt in this situation. How can I get out of this situation? Try it yourself. Try thinking, being conscious about which kind of thoughts you have, and discover how many of them is about you making a strategy of some kind of emotion. And if we all just learn that an emotion is not meant to be processed with thoughts, emotions are meant to be felt, and thoughts are meant to be mentally processed, and we understood this rule, then we could make clean thinking. So every time we started to think about how to cope with an emotion, we would start to feel the emotion instead of thinking about it. And feeling the emotion is from here and down. Thinking is from here and up. So if you sense yourself and everything is happening in your head, you are thinking. Stop thinking, feel what happens in your body. That's where your emotions are. And if you are in some, I always use hurt. If you are in some way hurt, feel whatever emotions you have activated in you. You can be sad, you can be angry, whatever you have in you from this episode in your life. Feel the emotion. It's really very simple. When I talk about it, it's another thing when you're starting doing it. But if you stop thinking about your emotions, feel your emotions, and only use your thoughts or your mental capacity when it's appropriate. When you have felt your emotions, you're in some kind of situation, you have to choose between having that opinion, making this choice, then your thoughts are clean, more clean, if you have felt your emotions. If you have a lot of active emotions, then you will use a lot of mental activity to try to not feel the emotion, and that's kind of waste of energy. But it's difficult because there are pain in emotions. And then I would like to talk about the horses, because as I said in the other video, the horses have a very little mental body and a much bigger astral body. So when the way I make my courses with horses is the horses have to be in a space where they can walk freely. They're not tied up in any way, and it's best if they are in a herd, so they have some kind of natural environment around them. And when I have a person on a course that shall meet a horse, then I start by making some exercises where I help the person get grounded. And that's really a process where I help them to stop think and get into their body. And it takes 5-10 minutes, and people come in very different conditions. Some people I can use 2 hours, work with for 2 hours before I can get them out of their head. They don't have any contact with their emotional part of their body, and they think they think they have contact with their emotions, and they don't see they have a problem, but they cannot communicate with the horses, because horses communicate with astral energy. Some persons are grounded in 1 minute and are in communication with the horses instantly. So one course can take 10 minutes. And then what happens is that the horse stands here and the person stands here, and when the person is grounded, the person points their attentions to where the horses are. And there will always be a horse that joins the session, one or more horses. If we are grounded enough, and grounded in the way that we stop thinking, we just feel whatever emotion that are active in us, then the horses sense that we want to talk to them, with them, because their language is emotions. So whatever kind of activity we have in our body, it's like presenting ourselves to them. And through the horses, among the horses, they do that all the time. They just are their emotions, and that is how they talk to each other. So if we start talking their language by being in our emotions, they will consider it as an invitation to talk. So, and when the person comes in this situation and the horse stands in front of them, we don't get closer than about 5, 6, 7 meters. If you get closer, you get into each other's energy fields and things change totally. You have to keep a horse's astral body have antennas that goes far out, and this is a person, and they have antenna, and they really radiate energy far out. Many people are not aware of that, but so if we are too close to the horse, this is a horse, let's give them some ears. If we're too close, we are in each other's private space, and when you go into a horse private space, the horse switch to being an domestic animals. It's like you become its master, you give them food and so on. You have to have a distance so they can keep their energy intact, and the same with you. So if the person starts thinking, because when the horse starts interacting with your emotions, it can be very overwhelming. It is like being can't remember the word. It's like the horse can look right into you, right through you. So then the mind starts to make strategy for coping with all the emotional activity. And when a person starts thinking, the horses consider this as, oh, you don't want to talk to me anymore. And then the horses will go. And if the person stops thinking, I usually help in this process, help the person to say, start breathing into your body. That helps, that solves the problem. Just breathe into your body, feel your body, stop thinking. And every time the person success with stop thinking, the horses start talking. And that is because we have a channel, a mental channel and an astral channel. We can send out and receive energy. We can send mental energy, receive mental energy, send out astral energy and receive astral energy. That's how our system works. So when you go, I've talked about the technique in the exercises you can find on my website, where if you want to find these stop emotional condition that helps you get away from your challenges, brings you forward to a condition where your energy flows more freely, where you have them in clean and optimal conditions. Then you can use the exercises to look in, sense in your body where you have active energy and process this energy. Or you can be in a situation where something happens, you get emotionally affected, feel where in the body these emotions make an activity, and let this area transform. But the horses are incredible to help us in this process, because they can look into our astral body and see something that are extremely difficult for ourselves to discover. It is like we have this astral body in us, and some point, somewhere, that can be really a long way it feels like we have no contact with it. We don't even know it's there. And when you talk with the horse, they respond to the signal that comes from that point. And I don't know why. It's like our body is talking a certain kind of language that the horses respond to. And if I have one person to the horses, the horses clearly respond to something, and that is an energy. We try to put it into words and explain or talk to each other about what kind of emotion came into play between the person and the horse, but it's still an energy, and that is multi-dimensional. You cannot just put one word on this emotion. That word is only two-dimensional. So when the person first meets the horses respond to this point, and maybe we go to the horses again after 6 months. If the person hasn't solved the problem, the challenge, there are in some way work with that point, the horses will respond to the same point. So you can keep going talking to the horses, but before you have in some way transformed what point in you, what energy in you they've responded to first, they won't start responding to another point in you. It's like one point is shouting out loudest to the horse's ear or the horse's system. So I hope I know it's maybe a bit confusing video, and but I hope I have give you some kind of insight into how important the emotional part of you are. Of course your thoughts and mental capacity are important, but this is the place to start solving your problems, start discovering what it's all about, and mainly start to discover that you are energy, and all what I'm talking about is energy statuses, energy conditions, energy activity in you. All communication is based on energy too. Everything you have in you comes from sources that gives you this energy in you. So maybe it was mixed and difficult to understand. I hope you got some part made you get the insight of how important the emotional energy are.